Hey guys, it's Emily and welcome to a new weekly reading vlog. Now this week's vlog is going to be a little bit different because I'm going to be attempting to read 100 pages every day for a week. So if you've been watching BookTube recently, you probably have seen these reading challenges going around, and so since I have had trouble reading lately, I thought that I would try to take on one of those reading challenges. So as I was saying, reading has not been easy for me lately. I don't know why, I just don't feel like reading as much, and I don't know if it's because I've been busy with work, and when I'm busy with work and like I end my work day, I just don't want to read afterwards because I've been doing a lot of like copywriting recently, and when I end my work day, I just don't want to see words anymore. I just want to shut myself off and like do other things. I've also started a rewatch of The Good Place because I never seen the finale, so I thought that before I just watch a finale, I might as well rewatch the entire show. So I've been doing that, and that has taken me away from reading as well. And overall, like, I've been reading, but I have not been reading as much, and I haven't been reading as frequently. So the goal with this video is to help me get back on track and like help me build a routine when it comes to reading again. So that's what we're going to be attempting this week. I have a feeling that it's going to be very challenging because even though like I can read for an hour or more, I don't always read 100 pages every day. I don't think so, at the very least. So it's going to be interesting to say the least. I'm really hoping that I will be able to catch up on my summer reading as well, because I had a lot of books on my shelves that like I think would be perfect for summer, but I never really got around to them. So since we're having like a heat wave this week, I feel like I'm in more of a summer mood. Even though like my summer vacation's over, I feel like now it's very much like summer. So might as well like make the most out of this summery week before I start transitioning into my fall content. So yeah, I'm gonna be reading some summer books, probably. I don't know, we're just gonna go with the flow and read whatever I want, but the goal is to read 100 pages every day. So hopefully this week we'll be finishing a couple of books and getting back on track with my reading challenge. So one of the books that I would like to read this week is this one. It's Blackout by Donald Clayton, Tiffany D. Jackson, Nick Stone, Angie Thomas, Ashley Woodfolk, and Nicola Yoon. So it's a short story collection written by Black authors. It's love stories that are taking place during a citywide blackout in New York City in the middle of summer, and I'm very excited to read this. I've already started. I read the first act of Tiffany D. Jackson's story, I think, and it has 6 short stories, so I think I could probably read like 1 short story every day, and that would help me reach my page count. So this is probably what we're going to start off with, and hopefully we'll finish it this week. I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to it. Also, I have received some book mail today, so I thought I would share what I received with you guys. Basically, they're all classics. I have been on the classic kick lately. I don't know why. I think it's because fall is coming, and usually fall is when I'll read the most classics. I don't know why. It's kind of like the academia vibes that I'm feeling. I don't really know, but I saw this sale at Indigo Chapters where some of these books were like 5 for $25, so basically $5 each. So I couldn't resist and I got a couple. So first I have Down and Out in Paris and London by George Orwell. I don't really know what this one is about. I think it's kind of a memoir, and it takes place in both Paris and London, and I'm a sucker for books that take place in Paris and London. So I'll read it. I'm excited. It's kind of short. Then we have Walden by Henry David Thoreau, and don't know nothing about this one. I think it's kind of a, not a manifesto, but kind of a non-fiction book about living at one with nature and stuff like that. I don't know too much, but I think it's going to be an interesting reading experience. Then I have The Odyssey and the Iliad by Homer, and I mean, look at these covers. So pretty, right? But I've been on the Greek mythology kick. Like, I really want to get Mythos by Stephen Fry, and then I thought that once I read that, I can read The Odyssey and the Iliad. I read The Odyssey before in high school when I was 14, I'd say, in secondary 2, but it was like a abridged version, like made for kids, so it was a very condensed version of the Odyssey, but I thought I could read the real thing, and then if I want to tackle the Iliad, I could do that as well. So I got them. I also got The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. Always wanted to read this but never did, so might as well like try it at one point. And then I also got The Great Gatsby, the graphic novel. I read The Great Gatsby when I was 16, I think, so it's been like almost 10 years, which is crazy. But I've been wanting to reread The Great Gatsby because I don't remember much from it. Like, I remember the grand lines, and like I've seen the movie, so I know what the story's about, but I don't remember a lot from it. Like, it's been a while, and I thought might as well like try a new format, because I've already read the original thing in English also, which was one of my first English classics, so that was fun. But I thought that the graphic novel would be a great way to like immerse myself in the story and like get used to it, or like get back into it, I guess. So I decided to get it, and like the artwork kind of reminds me of an old comic book. So I don't know. I'm excited to read this. I think it's going to be fun, and hopefully I will like this. I mean, if not, it's very pretty. So now it is 4:40 and I was supposed to go to the gym, but I have too much to do tonight. I'm actually going to be editing a video because I'm kind of behind on my uploading schedule, and I just finished filming that video, so I need to start editing it. So I'm gonna be doing that, and I'm gonna try to finish editing that tonight. I do need to read my 100 pages for today, so I'm gonna edit for a bit, and probably like after I've had dinner, if I'm not feeling like editing anymore, I'll move over and start like reading. So I have finished reading Mask Off by Nick Stone in Blackout. So I finished her short story and it was amazing. I'm giving it a 4 out of 5 stars. It was so cute. I loved the characters. I wish the story had been longer because I really enjoyed the characters and like seeing their relationship and their development. It was super short, so I kind of wish that it had been a little bit longer, but that's fine. By the way, look at how pretty this book looks naked. It's so pretty. I did not show it off when I hauled this book because I did not realize, but I mean, it's stunning. I love this. Anyway, I also read the second act of Tiffany D. Jackson's story, and I'm continuing to enjoy this. So that means that overall I have read 45 pages today. So I have to read 55 pages in order to reach my goal of reading 100 pages today. I think I'm going to go with Meet Me at Midnight by Jessica Pennington. This was gifted to me by my friend Meg. So I'm quite excited to give this one a try. I added this to my wish list because Meg recommended it. So I'm quite curious to see what this one is about. Hi, so it is day 2 of the reading challenge. It's Thursday. I kind of wanted to do an update on how everything went yesterday before we dive into today's portion of the video. So yesterday I ended up reading up to page 85, yes, of Meet Me at Midnight, and I can attest that this is a perfect summer read. Basically, it follows 2 teenagers who have kind of grown up together because each summer they go to this lake house, and like their mothers used to be roommates in college, so they've kind of grown up together. Every summer they kind of have this prank war going on where they will just like do the worst things to one another. And this summer is a little bit different because I think feelings are gonna come into play. Like there's already been like kind of a stolen kiss between the 2 of them, and I'm very excited for this. I do think the pranks are kind of childish and petty, and I tend not to be the biggest fan of prank storylines, but other than that, like I am really enjoying the banter between the 2 of them and like their love-hate relationship. So I am looking forward to seeing where this will go, and I can see why Meg loves this because it is a dual perspective story, and I know Meg is a sucker for those, so I can completely see why she would like this. And so far I am kind of leaning towards the I'm going to like this side of things, but I guess we'll have to see and continue reading. It's Friday, it's day 3 of this challenge. So yesterday I read exactly 100 pages, so I did once again succeed in this challenge yesterday. I'll be honest, I'm realizing that this is a little bit harder than I thought it would be. I didn't realize how much 100 pages was, and I think this challenge kind of made me realize how many pages that actually is. Don't get me wrong, I'm enjoying reading what I'm reading. Like in terms of the reading material, no problems there. I'm enjoying both Blackout and Meet Me at Midnight, but I feel like I'm forcing myself to read a little bit every day, which is good because I was not really in the habit of doing that anymore. But at the same time, every day it feels like a chore. I'm like, oh my god, I need to read my 100 pages for today. So I don't know, like exactly how I'm feeling about it. Like I feel like it's a positive thing because, as I was saying before, I haven't really been reading as much lately, so it's kind of forcing me to pick up books and like read. But at the same time, I'm like, oh my god, I need to read, and it's making the process a little bit less enjoyable. So yeah, I guess we'll continue with the challenge because so far I have been reading more recently than I have like before that. So yeah, this week has been great for that because it's really putting me into the habit of picking up a book every day, which I wasn't really doing before. Now that it's a weekend, I feel like I will have more time to read and it won't be as much of a chore to like fit in some reading, because what I'm realizing is I typically do a lot of my reading during the weekend, and when I'm at work and everything, I don't read as much. It's an interesting experiment. I'm enjoying both of the books that I'm currently reading, so we'll continue with those as I'm still not done with them. Like I'm a little bit over 100 pages into Meet Me at Midnight, and I'm about halfway, I'd say, into Blackout. So it's day 5 of this reading challenge, and so far it has been a complete success. I've been able to read at least 100 pages every day. I know I haven't really updated you guys in the last 2 days, but it's just that quite honestly, it's been kind of busy and crazy lately. With my grandma being here, it was just kind of hard for me to carve out time to read and vlog, so I haven't been the most successful at updating you guys as far as my reading goes. Nonetheless, the challenge has been a success because I have been able to read at least 100 pages every day, and last night I finished a book, and the book is Meet Me at Midnight by Jessica Pennington. So I'm giving this a 4 out of 5 stars. I really liked it. I loved the chemistry between our two protagonists. However, the ending kind of was unsatisfying in my opinion. Like I was very much let down by it. I liked the outcome, but I didn't like the execution, and I think Asher, our male protagonist, was way too good for Sydney, our female protagonist. Sydney was very annoying. I just couldn't really get behind her character. I understood where she was coming from and like why she was that way, but at the same time I just feel like we were running around in circles, and like her character didn't really see a lot of growth until the very end of the story. I liked Asher a lot, like he's kind of a new book boyfriend type of situation, but Sydney, not really my type. It was a fun story though, and it's a quintessential summer read. Like it was such an amazing pick for the summertime. The ambiance and like the atmosphere of the lake house and like the I don't know, small town that they're located in. I really like that. I think it was perfect for this heat wave that we had going on, and if you're looking for something to add to your summer reading list for like next year, this one is really great and would totally recommend. I have also been reading a Blackout, and to be honest, I'm not really sure how I feel about it just yet, because I did really like Nick Stone's story. It was my favorite that I've read so far, but everything else that I've read has been under 3 stars. I don't really know how to feel about this. However, I think the next 2 are probably going to be stories that I love because they're from authors that I've read from before and I know I love. So I have Angie Thomas and Nicola Yoon, and I have a feeling that they're both going to be amazing. I guess we'll see, but I've really loved books from Angie Thomas and Nicola Yoon before, so I have high hopes for the rest. But so far it has been kind of subpar. I do like the whole like overarching experience because all of those stories are interconnected somehow, which I think is very fun, but at the same time some of the stories were just meh. Like they were too short or nothing really happens, and I don't know, like I love the representation and I love what this book does, but I don't know, the stories themselves were not necessarily strong enough on their own. Like it's a good thing that they're part of a collection of short stories, because otherwise like not much really happens. I'll continue to read this. I might try to finish this today because let's talk about my reading plans. I do need to pick up a new book to read, and I'm kind of indecisive as to what I want to do today. I was thinking of picking up the Great Gatsby graphic novel that I purchased earlier this week, but I don't know if I should count it as like into my 100 pages for today, because I feel like it's kind of cheating, as this is a graphic novel and like a lot of it is images. So it's 200 pages. I think I can finish it today, but I don't know if I should count it because honestly I feel like it's kind of cheating. But I will be reading at least one story from Blackout today. I might read the rest because I have about 100 pages. I think I actually have a little bit less than that to read, so I might read both stories and like finish this. I might just read one story and then pick up a third book to do like 100 pages of actual text and then have the graphic novel on top of it. I don't really know. I guess I'll keep you guys updated. For now, I'm gonna go outside and read this because it's such a beautiful like fall day. It's not fall, but like almost, it feels like it, and I don't know, it just is a beautiful day. So I'm gonna go read this, and then I'll update you guys if I decide to pick up something else, and I'll just let you guys know how my reading goes for today. Alright, so I have finished reading The Great Gatsby, the graphic novel, and I liked it. I think it's a solid adaptation. If it's your first encounter, I guess, with The Great Gatsby, like if it's your first time reading it, I think this could be a great place to start because it makes it very accessible and easy to read. Like I read that in a day and it wasn't hard for me to understand or anything like that. The writing is fairly simple because it's mostly images with some dialogue and a little bit of like explanations in between, I guess. But overall, I think it's a great place to start, like I said. As someone who has read this before, I don't know exactly how I feel about the graphic novel because I think it was a solid adaptation, like I mentioned, but as far as the format goes, I'm not sure if this was the right, I guess, way of making it. I liked like I said, the adaptation. I think the author, I guess, Fred Fordham, did a great job at adapting the story into something that was, like I said, more accessible and a great entry point. But as far as the art style goes, I didn't like it that much. I think, I don't know, the colors felt very muted. Like in the lighting, you can't really tell. The cover looks great, but even inside, I feel like the colors are quite pale and it's a muted palette, to be honest. And The Great Gatsby is this flamboyant and vibrant tale, and I feel like this wasn't reflected in the artwork. Don't get me wrong, it's pretty and everything, but I just don't think it was the right fit for a story like this one. So as a whole, I'm giving it a 3 out of 5 stars. I would recommend it. Like I said, if you've never read The Great Gatsby, I feel like this could be a great way to get started with it, especially since classics tend to be more intimidating. I think this could be a very viable format and like easily digestible. I would be very interested to read other graphic novels of classics. I know this author, like I said, Fred Fordham, the one who adapted the text, also did something for To Kill a Mockingbird. I've never read that one, so I would have to read like the classic before I read the actual like graphic novel, but I would be interested in seeing how it's conveyed and like how it's adapted. So anyway, if you guys know of any other like classics that have been adapted into graphic novels, let me know. I know Anne of Green Gables also has one, and I want to read Anne of Green Gables eventually, so that could be another one. But as for the rest, I don't really know. So if you guys know of any other graphic novels that have been adapted, like classics that have been adapted into graphic novels, let me know in the comments down below because I'm interested. Anyway, next thing I'm going to be reading is Blackout. So I'm going to be reading one story from this, and after that we'll decide what else I decide to read for tonight, because I do want to read like at least 100 pages of actual text like I've mentioned before. So we're gonna read the next story, which is Angie Thomas's story. Very excited for that one. And after that we'll have to decide what else I want to be reading. Also, I kind of want to burn a candle right now, and I think I'm gonna go with this one that I got at Bath and Body Works a couple of weeks ago when I went to Montreal. This one is called Sweater Weather, which I think my camera is not focusing, but it's kind of a fall scent, so I was keeping it for fall. But today feels like a fall day, and I've been really wanting to burn this recently, so I think we're going to light this up and read. day 6. It's Monday, it's the beginning of a new work week, and today the goal is to finish reading a Blackout. So I only have one more story in this to read. It's Nicola Yoon's story, so I'm hopeful that I will like it. I've loved her books in the past, so I have high hopes for this story. It's also quite short. I only have like 30 pages left to read in order to finish this book, so that's going to happen today. And once we're done with that, I'm going to be diving into These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. So it's a very hyped book here on BookTube, and I'm very excited to give it a try because I've heard so many great things about this one. It's a Romeo and Juliet retelling that takes place in Shanghai in the 1920s, and I don't know, I'm just very hyped for this. I've read the prologue and I was already like blown away. I just need to read more and like know what the story is about. So I'm excited for this. I know there's a sequel that's coming out either this year or the next one. I'm dead. I'm coming to you from the afterlife. So, hey guys, it's day 7 of this reading challenge. It's Tuesday and I've been having one hell of a week. It's been very busy all around, and I was not really busy at the beginning of the week, but the more the week goes on, the busier I become, and I just am so overwhelmed right now. I just don't think I'll make it through this week alive, but that's fine. Anyway, let's talk about books. So yesterday I finished reading Blackout and I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I liked the overall experience and like what the book was trying to do. I really liked some of the stories, but there's also a lot of stories that half of the stories weren't that great for me and the other half were amazing. I liked it. I would recommend it, but it just happens that I didn't love every story, and that's usually the case with short story collections. And then I started reading These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. I'm at the page 66, and so far I'm very captivated by the story. I think the writing style is very immersive. Like I feel like I'm in this world and like I'm discovering everything that the characters are discovering, and I really love the world building in this. I also love seeing the similarities between this book and Romeo and Juliet. Like every time I see a character that I know is like part of the either gang, basically, I'm like, oh, this is this character, or oh, this is this character, and I'm reminded of like the play, which is fun. It's been a while since I've read Romeo and Juliet. Like most people, I studied it in high school, so it's been like 10 years, probably not 10 years, maybe 10 years is an exaggeration, but it's been quite some time, and so I don't remember everything about it, but I do remember the grand lines and like most characters. So it's been a fun experience, like seeing the similarities between the both of them. And I think for tonight, this is the book that we're going to be focusing on. It's our last night of the reading challenge. It's been very challenging, more than I thought, probably because I've been very busy with work, but other than that, like, it's been great. I've been reading a lot and it has achieved everything that I wanted it to achieve, which is great. But anyway, we're gonna be reading this tonight. I don't think I'll pick anything else up. I was thinking of maybe reading one story from the Ghost of the Shadow Market novella bind up. I have a couple more to read before I can dive into Queen of Air and Darkness, so maybe I'll pick that instead. But I think the next story that I have to read is like kind of long. It's a 3-hour audiobook, so I don't know if I want to do that one tonight. We'll see. I've been feeling like listening to an audiobook, so that might be what I dive into instead. I guess I'll let you know once I've made my decision. Alright, so it's about 8 p.m. and I have yet to read a single page, and to be honest, I am not feeling like reading at all. But it's the last day of this challenge and I'm not going to fail. So I'm going to be reading The Land I Lost by Cassandra Clare. It's the 7th story in the Ghost of the Shadow Market novella thing. I have the audiobook. I'm already ready to listen. I am going to follow along in my ebook, and it's going to be like assisted reading. They're going to tell me the story. It's going to be great. And I usually listen to audiobooks on like 1.5, 1.8, sometimes 2 times speed. So I should finish it quicker than the 3.5 hours that it lasts. I really need to get this over with. I just don't want to do it. I was trying to watch reading vlogs to motivate me, but even that didn't do it for me. So yeah, I just need to get it over with and like get started, because otherwise I'm going to procrastinate, and next thing you know, I'm not going to have read my pages. So we're going to try to finish this short story. It's 123 pages, I believe, but the goal is to make it to the page like 100, and after that it's fine. So we can do it. We just need to like get started. So let's do that.